Hi, I'm Sherry Winston. Welcome to another edition of Uncorked. If this is your first time here, come on in. It's so good to have you. And if you are returning, welcome back. We are going to talk about books and wine, wine and books. Now, with spring springing upon us, I have decided to try something new in wine. So tonight I'm trying out a rosé. I never drink rosé, so I'm really interested to see how this turns out. It's called LVY Rosé from France, Languedoc. It's a restrained rosé with a light taste on the palate. So let me take a sip and I'll let you know what I think. Isn't that a beautiful bottle? It's lovely. Okay. And a glass stopper. Oh, I'm feeling very fancy right now. So the reason, oh wait, cheers. Oh, it is. It's very light and fruity, and I could taste little bits of maybe strawberry and currant. It's really good. Okay, to go along with the spring wine, I thought it would be nice for me to have a little departure from all of my dark mystery and thriller books and instead focus on some fantasy. Now, I'm not a fantasy girly. I haven't read fantasy really since my teen years, but I hear it talked about so much by so many book influencers that I have to say I'm sort of dying to dip my toe in. So I've pulled up a few that I've gotten from on my Kindle backlist, a few that I've just heard about from listening to other influencers, and one that I actually, when I was going through Goodreads, that I actually have on my shelf. So, without further ado, let's talk about some of the fantasy novels that I might be reading. And if you've got a suggestion, please, and especially if you're a reader, I want something that's light, under 400 pages. I am not somebody to commit to long books. I like to say that I would, I just don't do it. So if you make a suggestion for a book that's like 500, 600 pages, that's just setting me up for failure, because I'm just not going to read a book that is that long. But the first book that I have that I found on my Kindle TBR is called The Poet Empress by Xin Tao. And it tells the story of the waning years of the Azalea dynasty. The emperor is dying, the land is consumed by famine, and poetry magic is all but lost, except to the powerful. After the fifth death of a member of one of her siblings, a desperate Wei Li is determined to save what's left of her family and her village. So she offers herself as a concubine to the cruel and brutal house, or Azalea house. Now, this book is only 393 pages, so it's just under my limit, and it meets my guideline. And I don't know anything. I went on Goodreads and I pulled up some books, and then I went on my Kindle, and this one was available on my Kindle, and I must have downloaded it a while back based on someone's recommendation. But that's what I've told you about it, is all I know about it. It sounds beautiful. If you know something about it and you think this would be a good place for me to I just think that spring and fantasy kind of go together. I don't know. Let me know what you think about The Poet Empress. The next book is actually, I think it's a young adult, but it was suggested to me a while back. It's called Fire, Sword, and Sea. And it's, excuse me, it's really not a fantasy per se. It's more of a swashbuckling pirate tale. But the take on it is that the pirates are all Black women from the Caribbean. Fire, Sword, and Sea was written by Vanessa Riley. It's a high seas adventure featuring swashbuckling, courage, and real life pirate Jacquette Delahaye. And it says, Goodreads said that it's a well-researched 1600 saga about the Caribbean Sea, and it follows Jacquette, who becomes dock worker Jacques in order to hide her gender, earning respect from those around her. And she soon befriends an African woman named Bahati, and then she falls in love with the beautiful courtesan Lazao de Urville. And soon the three are sailing the high seas, living life as true pirates. So I don't know. I've never read a book about women pirates, and I for darn sure have never read one about Black female pirates. And it just sounds awesome. So I'm thinking it might be worth a shot. If you've read it, if you've heard of it, if you know anything about it, talk to me. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you feel like that would be a worthwhile read for me this spring. Now, another book that this was at the top of Goodreads under light fantasy, The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. It's a magical island, a dangerous task, a burning secret. That's how it starts. Linus Baker leads a quiet, solitary life. At 40, he lives in a tiny house with a devious cat, don't we all, and his old records. As caseworker for the department in charge of magical youth, he spends his time overseeing the well-being of children in government-sanctioned orphanages. When he is unexpectedly summoned by extremely upper management, he's given a curious and highly classified assignment. Travel to the island of the orphanage where 6 dangerous children reside, including the Antichrist. Crikey. It's on Goodreads. It is described to be an enchanting story, masterfully told, about the profound experience of discovering an unlikely family in an unexpected place and realizing that family is yours. It sounds really cute. I don't know what it's really like, but it's giving me good vibes. It seems like it would go really well with this nice spring light wine. So you let me know. I will look forward to hearing from you. Now, this one I happen to have on my physical bookshelf. It's a tiny little book. I bought it back at Christmas time. Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. Translated by Jeffrey Trousseau. I'm so sorry, Jeffrey, for butchering your name. It says, what would you change if you could travel back in time? In a small alley in Tokyo, there is a coffee shop, a cafe, and they've been making the best coffee there for over 100 years. But it's not the only thing that they offer at this coffee house. They also offer you the chance to travel back in time. In this book, we meet 4 visitors, each of whom is hoping to make use of the cafe's time-traveling offer in order to confront the man who left them, receive a letter from their husband whose memory has been taken by early onset Alzheimer's, to see their sister one last time, and to meet the daughter they never got the chance to know. It's said to be a moving story, a beautiful moving story that explores the age-old question: if you could go back in time, or if you could travel back in time, where would you go? And more importantly, who would you want to meet, maybe for one last time? I can tell you, I'm already tearing up. I don't know. That one sounds kind of sad, but it's such a thin little book and it's so intriguing. So I'll have to see. All right, and the last book I have on my list of potential fantasy reads is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. Just the title alone, the title had me at hello. It is described as warm and uplifting about an isolated witch with an opportunity to embrace a quirky new family and new love, changes the course, and how that changes the course of her life. As one of a few witches in Britain, Mika Moon knows she has to hide her magic, keep her head down, and not draw attention to herself. However, when she is summoned to a remote nowhere house to teach 3 young witches how to control their magic, she feels like she's being set up. You know, we're not supposed to all be together. We're not supposed to have a lot of witches in the same place. But she goes, and through working with these young witches, while she's supposed to be helping them, I think what she discovers is that she is also helping herself. And it seems to be a story about found family and finding your voice and your power. I don't know. I mean, I'm just going, again, off the vibes, off of what the description says. So, again, it looks like it would be manageable for someone of my limited reading ability. I can't do those long books. But I do. I want to break out. I want to experiment with something beyond what I normally read. And I like the idea, at least, of all 4 or 5 of these books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, as I said, I am not a romance girly, but I look forward to, I would really, really love to hear from you. If you read romance, if you are in, especially some of the, I need romance with training wheels. I mean, not romance. I need fantasy with training wheels. Don't give me a Brandon Sanderson, I think that's his name, those epic tomes. My brain can't even it can't even wrap itself around some of that. These books that go on, they're prequels and sequels and all of that. Just give me a good one and done with some, beautiful language and a beautiful setting and maybe some quirky characters. And I think I'll be good with that. So that's all I have this time. I'm not going to go on and on. These are just some of the books that I'm looking at to round out the rest of my TBR. The books that I mentioned maybe a couple of videos ago, I will be wrapping up at the end of May. And we'll see which one of these, if any, make it onto that list as well. So that's all I have for now. Oh my goodness. Have you noticed that I haven't been using this microphone? I am the worst. That's all I have. Well, cheers. Bye-bye. See you at the bookstore.